Welcome to another episode of Menopause Matters, where we come together to support women over 40 to help them through this difficult challenge of their life. Hey, it is something that we can't be without. It is part of being a woman, but this process doesn't have to be horrible. You can thrive through all this menopause by understanding your body, your health, and your fertility. And who's better to share with us with Dr. Hayley here with us today? Hi, Dr. Hayley, how are you?
Oh, very well, thanks, Martha. Thanks for having me.
Please tell us a little bit more about you, what you do, and your experience in this area.
Yeah, perfect. Um, I basically got 15 years experience in academic research, specializing in metabolism, understanding why women struggle to lose weight and keep it off. So I still have a full-time academic role at a university where I'm studying why some people, particularly women, do better than others while we're trying to lose weight. And then also this challenging period, perimenopause to menopause transition, and what you can do to, so you can thrive. So in addition to all the research, I transfer some of those skills where I consult women, mainly busy professional women over 40, combining, nutrition, metabolism, weight management strategies that are all backed by science. So you can really optimize your health and wellness.
That is amazing because I do find that women over 40, we don't really understand what's going on with our body. So, can you tell us a little bit more about perimenopause and menopause? How are our hormones changing and how does that affect our health?
Yeah, definitely. So I find a lot of women unclear about this until things start to change for them. And I guess the first sign, which is one that's often missed, is maybe our function or our effects on the brain, which can happen 5 years before the physical symptoms such as night sweats. Weight gain, I think, happens through 40s anyway. But basically, when we talk about menopause and perimenopause, it's a transition period between, 2 to 8 years. Most women start going through menopause around 50, 51. That's the average age. But some women start within their early to mid 40s. So the perimenopause transition is when things start to change up. And our first indication of that is plus or minus 7 days without, fluctuations either side in your menstrual cycle. And then usually, when you're without period for a year, that's, you're going through that transition period. And then obviously the menopause is when, or postmenopause is when your periods are stopping altogether. So yeah, when a lot of obviously I sometimes find that we're put on this planet to breathe, and sort of once that phase is over, in our 40s we start all these other changes. So I think when it comes to hormone health and understanding your body and your menstrual cycle, like a lot of us don't understand. And the reason why it's important, because you do have changes not only in hormones, but in your metabolism, your energy requirements, things going on in the body if throughout the month. So this can definitely impact on energy levels, but also when we're talking about weight management or trying to lose weight, which I read a statistic the other day, like 50% of us are probably trying to actively lose weight. That's the statistics from the US. So it's really important to, know our body, know our menstrual cycle, know when these hormone fluctuations are. And I guess the key hormone, which everyone talks about, is declining estrogen. And yes, that's obviously what allows us to ovulate. And when this starts to decline, this is what's obviously driving a lot of these menopausal symptoms. The other ones are progesterone and testosterone. They do play a little bit of a role. Usually the decline in progesterone happens, as our periods start to cease as well. With testosterone, I know there's a little bit of research around this, but it can affect things like libido, muscle mass, which, declining estrogen actually makes our muscles decline, which is not good for our metabolism, strength, weight management, all these other things as well.
Oh, no wonder. I hear a lot of women said that they really struggle around this time, even that they're eating right, they're doing the
Mhm,
right things.
mhm.
They still find that managing their weight is actually a lot harder than usual.
Yes,
And it
yes,
is because our hormone changing, our estrogen
yes.
changing, and all of
Mhm.
that, isn't it?
It's
So, what is
absolutely.
the best way for us to actually overcome that? Like,
Yes,
especially with around, I think weight management is one
yes,
thing. For me,
yes,
what I notice is I sort of shift from worrying about the weight into worrying about the hot flushes that I
yes,
experience. That
yes,
are the worst, and having like trouble sleeping
yes,
until that I'm exhausted. So
yes,
those are the things that really affect me.
yes. He's got kids, sorry, kids coming home from school. Sorry. Yeah, so with the menopausal symptoms, hot flushes, sleepless night, restless legs, a common one is what we used to do to manage our weight with diet or exercising is no longer working. All we just seem to be doing is getting fatter around the tummy, losing muscle, losing strength. Our body composition does change. So you do start accumulating more fat around that tummy region.
Mhm.
And some of the things that are obviously driving that are, yes, hormonal changes, but there's good evidence suggesting that independent of these, it's actually our lifestyle. And for midlife women who are between 40 and 65, it's actually reduction in physical activity levels. So because we get so busy, we're probably not as active. We're skipping meals, irregular eating habits, everything, or we start restricting our calories too much to try and manage our weight. So, these are, can you avoid the weight gain during menopause? I think the odds are stacked against us, but when you look at the research, comprehensive scientific studies involving thousands of women, it actually shows that the average weight gain over the menopause or perimenopause transition, which is sometimes over 5 to 10 years, is about zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.7 kilos. So
Mhm.
some women gain 5 to 10 kilos. But when you look at the average statistics, that's probably about what average person or adult gains anyway per year once you get, men as well. So um, things that you can, yes, I've said lifestyle. So physical activity levels is super important. Um, there's evidence showing that lifestyle and nutrition, so diet, is really important for reducing symptoms. So some of the foods you want to really focus on are those high antioxidants, anti-aging foods, as well as high fiber foods. So these are prebiotic foods. Most women are not consuming enough fiber in your diet. And the reason this is important is it just keeps our gut in tip-top shape. Okay.
Yes.
Our gut is important for metabolism, our immune system, balancing hormones, getting rid of toxins, balancing blood sugar levels, which ties into energy, weight management. Getting lots of vegetables into your diet is super important. Protein is another one. We're losing muscle. Especially women over 60, your protein requirements go up. So from 0.75, they're going up to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. And that's because basically after 30, we're losing muscle every decade, 3 to 8% of muscle you are losing naturally. Okay. And, if you're not getting sufficient amounts of protein in your diet, that is further leading to that muscle degrading. So exercise, protein, diet are really important to maintain that muscle. And we want to maintain the muscle because that's what keeps our metabolic rate up, means we're burning more energy under resting conditions. Okay.
Oh, I
So that's
see.
how it's all sort of tying in together.
I see, I
Yeah.
see. So for a quick, some of the quick things that you can actually give us, like to manage those symptoms, such as
Yes.
like mood swing and
Yes.
hot flushes for me, like having trouble sleeping. What
Yes.
are some of the simple things that we can do to make it
Yes.
easier?
Absolutely. So An important one, like I do focus on nutrition first with a lot of women. As I mentioned, the high fiber foods, high antioxidants foods. So things like, your omega-3 fatty acids. So, walnuts, hemp seeds, flax seeds, oily fish are really good. Your green leafy vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, spinach. These are all good for gut health as well, your cruciferous greens. So your seeds as well, seeds and nuts, oily fish, even things like some tofu products. There's some evidence that they might help, their phytoestrogens. But if you don't have good gut health, then it's very hard for those to be absorbed in the body. So things to avoid are your spicy foods, alcohol, ultra processed foods. What else is there? Probably sugar. Sugar is the main one. It's inflammatory. And research has shown that actually postmenopausal women have a delayed postprandial glucose response, which means your blood sugar levels remain higher for longer after a meal. And this is a risk for, type 2 diabetes. So sugar, processed foods, alcohol, spicy foods, additives, I think. I would say also your meal timing. So eating too much at the end of the day. So get consistency within it, really good sleep hygiene and a good routine can really help with that as well. And obviously you've got exercise too and reducing stress levels. So definitely think all those things combined make a huge difference. And, there's research to support that as well.
Definitely. We've been hearing
as well, and drug use is other,
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of them actually say that it is about what we eat into our body, what we feed it, and then start changing that idea. Like I just went into warning my side says spicy food. Yeah. I never actually enjoy spicy food as much as how I am right now at this age. It's like that I want everything spicy. Is it because my taste bud is going away that I starting to crave for more, not salt. I really don't like salt. Yes. I still like my sugar, but it's the spice that I can't get enough of.
That's interesting. I know our taste buds do change as we get older. And I think there is evidence around spicy foods actually being good for turning on your brown fat and increasing your thermogenic capacity, it's called. But I'm not sure of the precise mechanisms, the science behind driving, why you'd want spicy foods, but maybe, probably you'd have to look at your diet as a whole. Like, are you getting enough vegetables? Are you, if you're drinking alcohol? Because usually the Western diet has changed, that we're having sweet, salty, spicy food, and we wash it down with alcohol. That's like how our, food dietary pattern has changed over time. So in terms, I think, of symptoms, they're the main ones. And I do have a guide that I can share with your listeners today, actually, that summarizes all that quite nicely.
Oh, that's perfect. I would love to actually have a copy of that to share with our team here. So is there any other tips that you can give us for helping us to going through this period?
I just think be kind to yourself. It's not, when we think about, nutrition or weight management strategies or managing the menopause symptoms, it is quite a long transition period. So, you're not alone. We're all going through it. While some people may have worse symptoms than others, I do think you have to take a holistic approach. Look at your stress levels, look at your sleep, look at, your work. Because I know a lot of women really struggle to concentrate and perform at work when your brain fog or your mental clarity, and you're exhausted all the time. So that physical stamina is just not there anymore. You don't have the energy to prep good food. Sometimes you don't, have the energy to go to the gym. So I suggest just picking one thing to focus on. Sometimes we try and do too much at once, and then it's not sustainable in the long term. So if there's just one simple thing that you could change, it might be adding an extra bowl of veggies to your lunch or dinner, or going for a 15-minute walk at lunchtime. We spend half of our life basically postmenopausal. So I think, yes, we've got the menopause symptoms, but we've also got, the chronic disease risk that comes with weight gain. So cardiovascular disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes also increases. So it is important to put lifestyle strategies in, diet, exercise. I've done work in surgical weight loss and behavioral interventions too. And, you don't want to get yourself to a point that it's very hard to sometimes lose and keep that weight off, because then you need these, more intensive strategies such as, bariatric surgery, medications. And this can sometimes, I think what the misinformation is sometimes is that women are not aware that you have to continuously take these long term to, have the sustained benefits. And, they do provide tools, but, you need to eat better, look after yourself to live a better life, healthier life, reduce risk of disease. So it's a lifestyle transformation, I like to call it.
Excellent. So how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, I've provided the link for you, and I'm offering women a free 15-minute discovery call, I call it. I'm not super strict sometimes on the time, but it's just more to get to know you in a one-on-one setting, what you're struggling with, and then some strategies like you could implement moving forward. So that's what I'm offering the women that are watching today. And I also have a mini course, which is an online 3-week metabolic reset program. So it's called Energize and Thrive. It comes complete with 10 training modules, mini bite-sized videos, downloadable guides. There's over 10 meal plans in there. And we talk about everything from resetting your metabolism through circadian rhythm and meal timing. We've got stuff on balancing blood sugar levels, incorporating protein and fiber into your diet. So I'm basically, here's all the science, and here's how you implement it. So you've got all the tools. It's a really great deal, and I think you guys are getting 5% off. So it's normally $297. It's valued at nearly $500. But this is like an early bird special. So I've just released this in the last month, putting all my 3 years of working with women through consultancy, but also my 15 years clinical or academic experience, identifying gaps. And there's heaps of cheat sheets. I think I've got like 20 different cheat sheets, how to add proteins to smoothies without supplements, and 200 calorie snacks, and what do you do when you eat out. So there's a heap of cheat sheets in there too. You can just stick on your fridge, so you don't have to worry counting calories, protein, fiber. I've done it all for you.
That sounds excellent, because a lot of women like us, we just don't have the time. And if we have things that it can actually just follow and guide, and that's amazing. And don't forget, ladies, in our Yeah the Girl 40 Plus group, you can get 5% discount from Hayley's courses. I'll put the contacts in the show notes here later for everyone to access. Hayley, it's been such an honor talking to you today. It is so much fun, learning so much. I would love for you to come back to tell us more about your cheat sheets, all the little things that we can do to make it easier for us to look after ourselves during this menopause season.
Yes. Yeah, I would love to come too, Martha, because I've just, so much knowledge and information to share. And, there's so much misinformation out there, and, you feel like, why you aren't getting the results? Why am I failing? And it's just, there's certain tweaks that, obviously understanding your body, but also the science and evidence behind, the strategies that I implement.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your time today. And thank you again for our audience and listeners to watch the Menopause Matters series. We look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.